All right, very special welcome to another edition of the Defo Show. Jeff DeForest. We got Mike Louie Lubitz, young Luca Panici Lubitz in the background, and I thought for a second, Louie, and I'm thinking, wow, Louie as a producer always comes through with something. Doesn't matter what the circumstances are, where we're working, how we're working, whatever it is, usually comes through with something. I mean, look, we're getting the insight on the Detroit Pistons from Grant Long, 15-year NBA veteran. Got Jason Cole while he's bussing tables at a bagel shop in Gainesville, breaking down the of the NFL. No, that was a great story. That's true. Would you have been reluctant? See, now you're not old enough to kind of appreciate a guy that was in a situation where you're sort of busted out. I have this. I shouldn't feel this way, Libby, because as I've said many, many times, all work is good work. And you're thinking, if you needed a few extra bucks, would you ever consider driving Uber or Lyft, Libby? If you
Yes,
just
that's
put
the
some
thing.
money, you got to
I
feed
wouldn't
the
want to.
family, whatever. I mean, would you do it?
I wouldn't want to put the mile issue because I delivered Italian food when I was in high school.
Yeah.
I don't mind it because again, anyone who knows me knows I'm friendly-ish. Like I come off very bitter and I don't trust anyone until I realize, okay, you don't suck, and then I'm nice to you. Like so, I'm not. I'm not great with service industry jobs. That's great. You don't really deal with anyone. Like
No.
Uber, you have to sit with people, and sometimes and you don't know if they're talkative or not. Uber Eats is amazing because you don't have to deal with anyone. You go, you
Yeah.
get the food, you drive. And again, driving around the car kills a lot of time. Like, that's the other thing I suck with in high school. I'd always get these jobs where you're just the thing you talked about with school, where you're like, okay, it's got to be 10
Oh,
minutes,
I couldn't stand it. Right.
or it's got to be 2 hours, and it's been 4 minutes. It's like I'm not good at those jobs. When I worked at the shoe place, when I worked at Publix, like I don't like. I like the job keeps me busy. That's why I've always liked this job. We never had enough time where I was like, oh shoot, it's been 2 hours. Like I like that job. And that's delivery driving is like that. Like you're always trying to keep up. You're always trying to so I wouldn't mind it actually. My issue is the miles on the car. Like
It'll beat
kills
the
car
crap out of
delivery.
your car, no doubt about it. A friend of mine drives Uber. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know people that drive Uber. I guess if you're an older person, and you've always seen the old guy, the 80-year-old guy who's bagging groceries at Publix, and you're thinking maybe he just wants to get out of the house. Maybe he's using this money to gamble with. That's possible. So that's very admirable. But I mean, I don't know. Did you ever feel some sort of sympathetic view, or take a sympathetic view towards that person?
Well, for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
your first reaction is like, oh, but I've learned, well, maybe first of all, they're bored. Like when you get
Yeah.
older, you don't have as much friends. Maybe Social Security only covers so much, as we've learned. Like any
Social
job's a good
Security
job.
is covering less and less. Although the one thing that it covers is, I mean, when you combine it with Medicare, it's a wonderful system. If they would put one more zero on that check, it would be perfect. It would be absolutely ideal. I mean, who wouldn't want to bank like 30 grand a month? That'd be awesome if you were in retirement. But yeah, a lot of ways to put money together. My friend who drives Uber, well, one of my friends, he has many, many horror stories. He says some woman got in his car that absolutely reeked so badly that he actually, as part of his whole business model, he bought like unlimited car washes at some car wash place.
Which is smart. That's actually really smart.
Because he says that there are people that get in and out of his car that he literally he has to go straight to the car wash and clean the car up. I don't know if I could deal with that, Luby. You're right. The Uber Eats thing might be the way to go. Although the restaurant, says we found out from Brian at Wicked Cheesesteaks, not necessarily benefiting from that particular program. It seems like the only ones that make any money are the Uber people. Well, why didn't we invest in that going back? Did it seem like a cockamamie scheme? You're going to have regular people be taxi
Yeah,
drivers?
yeah. When I remember Jimmy Cephalo because he was traveling a lot with the Dolphins, and we were still pre-COVID. We were in the building. I remember we would always talk with him, and I remember walking out of the studio, and you and Cephalo were talking. He's like, "Yeah, have you tried this Uber?" And we're like, "Uber? What the hell is it?"
Uber,
Like,
what are you
we hadn't
talking
even
about?
heard of it. Or I guess I had heard of it, but like we'd never done it. Why am I doing Uber? And he's like, "Yeah, whenever I travel, it's great." He's like, "It's way more efficient than a taxi." And back then,
It
now
was cheaper at one
it
point.
was cheaper than a
Yeah.
taxi. So like it was like, what? Why would I drive around with random ass
You
people?
were Mike Nyman was an early proponent of Uber. Yeah, he was saying, "Hey, why would I pay $25 for a cab ride when I could get the same ride for $6 and the guy's here in like 2 seconds and usually in somewhat of a decent car." So no, and I mean all work is good work, but that was interesting. I don't know. Would you have taken a dim view the Chip Namia story was a great story, and I'm glad we ran it by Jason Cole yesterday because I don't know. Would you have been reluctant to think, oh, this poor guy, man, he's really busted out? I mean, he's literally bussing tables at a bagel shop in Gainesville. This was a guy who was
Yes.
a top NFL writer.
Yes. Recently. I mean, he's been doing so for a long
Well,
time.
he's
Pretty
still there.
consistent.
I mean, that's the odd
I'm
part.
saying, like, if you're Namius and you don't know what he's been up to, you've seen him in the last decade writing somewhere. Like, so it's not
So you're
like,
thinking,
okay,
wow, this guy is really falling on hard times
yeah,
now.
like, and he's the one that figured out the internet stuff before a lot of people. So, like,
Yeah,
he's one that was finding a way to make a living. So to see him at a bagel shop in Gainesville of all places would
Gainesville,
be like,
not a high density of Jewish people
exactly.
population.
Like,
I
why
mean,
would he be?
not that you have to be a Jew to enjoy a bagel, but let's face it, it's usually somewhat. I mean, indigenous to. I mean, the whole idea that is that the right word? No, but yeah, usually you're thinking most bagel shops would probably prosper more where there was a heavier population of Jewish people. Long Island, New York, Miami, that sort of
That's what I
thing.
was gonna
Although
say. Like,
Miami now, I mean, you would have to gradually have moved a little north. No, you're better off opening up a Cuban sandwich shop in
honestly,
Miami. No,
but no, for sure. But that's like, I would. He was in a city. I'd be like, okay, Cole, was writing and bought a shop. Being in Gainesville lends itself to me more that he's out on his ass. Like, why is he in Gainesville? Why does he own a shop? Why would he be in Gainesville at a bagel place unless he's totally just lost it?
like he ended up there, just living there, and was in a trailer
Exactly, like he
somewhere.
had family there or something. So now he's down on his luck. Yes, I don't know if I would have reacted the way Namias reacted, but I definitely would have been weary about going up to him because I would have felt bad.
Tap him on the shoulder, Jason. Now, wouldn't your first instinct be to like squeeze him a 20, as the saying used to go? Just say, "Hey,
Probably.
here, I know things aren't going so well, so here, take this and forget about it. Don't worry about paying me back." That being said, I mean that was a good session there that we had with Jason Cole. I enjoyed that, and then I thought as we were starting the show because there was some excessive crying coming from one Luca Panici Lubitz that maybe you had booked the athletic director at Notre Dame.
And his name's Bavakwa. Have you seen that?
Kurt Bavacqua, yeah.
Bavakwa.
Bavacqua.
I love that it's Bavakwa.
I don't know that there was ever a better example of dripping sarcasm than when Tommy Lasorda in that Bavacqua rant said, Bavacqua, just the way he said it. I mean, you could see phlegm coming out of his lips there, and Kurt Bavacqua. That was great. We had Bavacqua on. That was one of your good gets. That was through my good friend Chip Bisbano, who unfortunately
Yes.
passed away. Really good guy. Got me into those golf pools, which I haven't been participating in of late. I need to find something that I can hit. That's for sure. But don't you love it? I mean, how delicious, how great is this Mike Louie Lubitz?
Yes, that's the only positive about
Notre
it.
Dame is crying. Notre Dame is crying
As an
about getting
FSU fan,
job.
as an FSU fan, and I have my weirdness with UM these days, even though I grew up having a soft spot for UM. Notre Dame not making it's fun. Like, it's really
Crying
fun.
is even better.
I love it so much.
The bowl system is dead. I mean, I love all of these conversations that are taking place as a result of what was supposed to be a solution. This was supposed to solve all of these problems. This was supposed to bring about equity. This was supposed to help the colleges and the whole college football system avoid these very same arguments that we are now having to extremes. I mean, and now the Notre Dame people, I guess they've been sort of maintaining this all throughout, even when they suspected they might get hosed. But and there was no reason for them. I have to give them this. That there was no reason for them to think that it was going to be Miami that got the priority when all throughout the process of
Yep.
the CFP polls they were ranked
Yep.
ahead of Miami in spite of their head-to-head loss.
Every time. Every time.
How did that suddenly revert back to? Oh, you know what? They played each other.
And neither played. That's the thing too. And neither played that weekend. That's
So
the
how
that's
do you
the
flip
funny
flop?
thing.
I mean, if you thought their resume
Good
was better
question.
before, in spite of the head-to-head loss, I mean, and look, you can excuse that away a little bit. It was the first game of the season. Notre Dame clearly got better as the season progressed. They were crushing teams like a grape throughout the last 10 games that they won them all.
Yep.
They did lose by what? A point to Texas A&M, who was in the
Team.
postseason.
Yeah.
You could easily make a case that in sustaining 2 losses and winning 10 games, that Notre Dame overall was more impressive than Miami was in beating Notre Dame head to head and also losing 2 games.
Man, look, when
Alabama should have been the beef, no?
Alabama, the problem for Alabama, it actually didn't answer anything because you did it. You ended up doing it to BYU, but there's a lot of issues that have come up. I would say since the Florida State snub, and even a little bit prior to that, when players started sitting out bowl games, that was a crack in the system. It was telling you the bowls don't actually matter. That was, they weren't doing it en masse, but you saw McCaffrey did it from Stanford, and it was sort of this, if these are so important, why are kids not going to play in them?
I mean, just hold up a picture of Melvin Brett, right?
Yep. One, Jake, the butt kid from Michigan. There's a lot of stories of guys hurting themselves that could have made money, and the money's even bigger now. And this was before NIL, so it wasn't even worth their time. Okay, so that was already a starter. Then FSU wins their conference, is undefeated, winning by wide margins. They won by 9 in Gainesville, and they won by 10 over a team that was top 15 in both offense and defense. And then you leave them out of the playoffs. You're now saying, oh, the regular season really doesn't matter that much. We've already thought it wasn't as important. You're telling us if you don't do exactly what we want you to do, how we want you to do it, it doesn't matter what you do.
That was clearly the most insane thing, and with no legitimate logic applied to it. I mean, the fact that they had a backup quarterback in there, as I've said with you, and I agree with you 1,000%, probably it was even more enhancing of an argument to put Florida State in there because they managed to win a couple of big games with that guy.
Yes. So
and they had to change their entire approach. A totally different.
He wasn't Travis. Travis at that point was a top 3 quarterback in the country. Travis at that point was a top 2 Heisman candidate in the country. So like you lost him and you kept winning. Like other teams do that, and if they win it, they're hailed as hero. So that was a huge mark into the system. It was like, oh, what is this? This year is like that last stamp of, oh, this is all a bunch of garbage.
All garbage. Yes.
It's like you've had 10 teams, you've had 5 win teams that were getting boosted up to a bowl. Like 6 of them say, yeah, I'm done. Like we didn't earn. I don't know what they haven't. Like FSU, I was down for them to be in the bowl because to me, it's money and experience for young kids. These programs are like, yeah, what are we doing? Like these bowls are nonsense. Like this is the year that is like, oh shoot, like will it ever be the same? Like I don't know what we're gonna have going forward. Like the bowls.
The solution to me isn't adding more teams either.
No.
If anything, maybe they made an even bigger mess of this. I mean, who has a legitimate chance to win it? Well, we'll get into that because you have to ask yourself: is everybody that's in the contest are they all in there with a shot? You would have to say what? Tulane, James Madison, probably. I mean, the odds are extremely prohibitive against them winning it. Miami's 22-1 to win the.
They're in a weird place because
22-1. They're with Alabama and Ole Miss at the same price.
Because the problem is they have A&M, and then they would play Ohio State.
Yes. Do you feel? I don't feel as confident as I did, and maybe it's because I actually watched them play. That Ohio State is on cruise control to win another national championship. You could look at that game from many standpoints. They didn't have a whole lot to lose. My friend Mike Jones, a good handicapper, has a good opinion. He equates a lot of emotion into this sort of thing, and is always trying to examine. So where is this team at right now? Which I find almost impossible to do. Because we're not mind readers, Lubie. How do we know? I always hated the cliche. Well, that was a look-ahead game. That's why they looked like crap in that ball game, because they were looking ahead to their big game against Michigan. So I don't believe that. I mean, when you were playing ball, Lubie, you were playing whoever was in front of you. You weren't sitting there thinking, oh, geez, I got Dr. Jerry tonight, and tomorrow I'm playing Rafael Nadal. So, I'm going to lose to this guy. No, you wanted to go out and beat whoever was in front of you. No, I never was thinking. Anytime I was playing ball, I was never. Did you ever find yourself saying, "Oh, well, you know what? We'll play this game tonight. I'm gonna have."
You look at your opponent and you try to guesstimate what they're going to be, and then the game starts and you play your best. Like once the game starts, you're not like, "Oh, he sucks. I'm not going to try and cover him." Like you're still going to go play.
And beyond that, you're not saying, "I really whiffed on that tackle," but you know what? We got the Rams coming up next week.
Yeah, like once the game starts, you want to go for it. Like I don't know what to do with that. Yeah. That game reminded me a lot of like Ohio State, Michigan a couple years ago, where Ohio State was the better team. Ohio State should have won the game, but Or last year, I'm sorry, when they went on to roll through the playoffs.
It was very similar to that game. You would have to say.
It's different in the sense that Indiana's a legit top 5 team, but talent wise, there's no compare. Like the Michigan team was a lot closer in talent than this Indiana team. They're well coached, all, and that's fine, and that can allow you to stay in it early. But usually, when you have that much of a talent advantage in the second half, is when you pull away. To me, that game was as much about strategy and game plan and coaching as it was these teams are on the same level. Like, I don't know. It's look, Ohio State's the same thing. It comes down to Ryan Day. Like, that's what we've learned is when Ryan Day just goes with his horses, there's not a lot of teams that can hang with him. When Ryan Day tries to play the style of the other team inexplicably, he allows teams to hang around in ways that they shouldn't with what this team is.
Many opportunities. It was kind of similar to what happened with Philadelphia last night in their loss to the Chargers in overtime. I don't know if you caught any of that game, but
I saw the final and
entertaining NFL game. This Justin Herbert, I mean, you lost your argument last night, and the stats don't really speak to this, Lubie, but Justin Herbert versus Tua Tagovailoa, my God, Lubie. I think you're way off on this one. I really do. I know you can say
stop debating it. I mean, I gave it. I just don't know what Herbert is, but he's clearly better than Tua. Tua is not a starter in the league. Justin Herbert's top 10 starter in the league.
Oh, sorry. I mean, this guy took an incredible beating last night and still rallied his team, and he was playing with like a broken hand. Mm-hmm. So he has like that Transformers glove on one hand. And it was obviously not his throwing hand, but I mean, this guy was getting plowed under by this Philadelphia defensive line to extremes, Lubie, and just kept getting up and making plays. His numbers are extremely pedestrian. 12 for 26 in a ball game. They do not tell the story. 139 yards, a touchdown, and an interception. But if you watched the number of times that this guy got off the canvas, I mean, he looked like Diego Corrales in the 11th round of that, I guess it was the 10th round of that Jose Luis Castillo fight. My God, where the guy's knocked out cold. And Joe Goosens in his corner, and he says, "You better effing do something about this right now." And I'm thinking, what's he going to do, Joe? The guy barely is conscious. And sure enough, he turns around and knocks him out. That was Herbert last night. I don't know how many times he got flattened by the Philadelphia defense and managed to, he was under immense pressure, managed to scramble his way out of it. If Tua is facing that same defense, they get shut out. They really do.
Probably, yeah.
Los Angeles Chargers. Wild game. Dicker the kicker, man, this guy is amazing. How many great kickers are there? They're all kicking at like a 99% ratio.
In the NFL.
And it turns out, though, the one errant missed field goal are just sort of arbitrary. It always turns out to be a killer, right? It killed Ohio State, the missed field goal. Missed field goal in the game last night by the Philadelphia Eagles was monumental in terms of the scoring dynamic. You can't say this for certain, but the Eagles, just from a numerical standpoint, win the game if this guy kicks the field goal. They don't have to go to overtime. So, yeah, I mean, the kickers, though, the ratio of kicks that they're making. Remember, you were hoping your guy made like 75%? When Jim Turner was kicking the ball straight on there for the New York Jets back in the day, and you're thinking, look at that. He's 7 out of 10. Not bad from 35 yards and in. Now it's like the guy's never missed from 55 plus. The sticker to kicker, I think, has missed. If he's missed 2 kicks all year, I would be surprised. Unbelievable. 94% field goal success rate for his career, Lubie.
Jesus.
Dicker to kicker, man. Cameron Dicker. And he nails like it was nothing. He just shrugs it off a 54-yarder in overtime. Eagles are marching down the field. Did you see the end of this ball game? Jalen Hurts had thrown 2 interceptions all year, Lubie. This is why you can't bet your money with any kind of company.
Oh, exactly.
2 interceptions through 12 games, and he throws 4 last night. And you had the rarity. I'm assuming that this is an NFL first, that this has never happened before. You know what they say about baseball trying to justify paying money to go see a baseball game? Well, you never know. You never know if you're going to see something you've never seen before in a baseball game, like a bad application of the infield fly rule or something like that. But I don't think it's ever happened. I want to say yes to this. It seems almost impossible, but that a player has made and committed 2 turnovers on the same play. Is that possible? Could a guy fumble a ball,
Yes.
recover it, and then fumble it again? No, because the other team would have to
Well,
recover
if
it.
they recover it, they start
Yeah.
running the other way. You take it back, and then you fumble it again. Yes, it's
Has that happened? I mean,
as it. Oh, I don't know. That's a lot of turnovers. Like that looks like
Hurts throws an interception. All right. Did you see this play? It's a
no.
fluke play of all time. He throws an interception, and the guy, it was like a lineman who dropped back into coverage who intercepts the ball. So we're not necessarily inclined to be very good at protecting the football. So he gets it punched out, and Hurts recovers the fumble, only to fumble the ball himself like a split second later. So in the same play, he had two turnovers, and it turned out to be another one of those kiss of death plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. And they're sorry MF and backers, which I happen to be one of them, laying 2 points with the Philadelphia Eagles. It was a painful game to watch from that standpoint, but nonetheless, two turnovers on the same play by a quarterback.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never heard of that.
I'm thinking it's never happened before.
I guess yeah, you throw it, you catch it. Yeah, but okay, how do you have an interception? I don't get
He
the
threw an interception,
yes.
so
Then they
that's
stole it
turnover.
back, and then how does
The
he?
guy's running the ball back, and he
So
fumbles, and
okay,
then Hurts recovers, but before he really establishes much with the ball, I mean, he clearly has the ball. He's made a fumble recovery. He was standing up, and then he loses the ball, and so
again
he fumbled the ball also. So he threw a pick and fumbled the ball on the
the
same
same
play.
play. Oh God, man, they're in a weird place, the Eagles. Jesus.
When that's happening, don't you just tear up your tickets? People,
Oh yeah. I mean, that's when you stop watching.
whoosh, it's like mush coming down the stairs there at Aqueduct going, come on, Kryptonite.
Yeah, for sure.
I have no chance now. Sort of like, I hate to say this, so when I would make contact with Wheelchair John at the track, as much as I like the guy, and in general, he was a very good boost for my overall well-being because he was a huge fan of our shows. Hey, tell Lubie hello, too.
Yeah.
So he's a great guy, always very conscious to compliment you and everything we were doing. And then, but if he came in physical contact with me, literally, I could take every ticket in my pocket and just shred him right there. And that's what happens when you get a fluke play like that. How are you still in the game after something like that? The Philadelphia Eagles. So interesting all the way around. Officiating, you can look at so many different incidents now in these ball games and say, well, geez, I mean, where's the consistency when it comes to officiating and all of these crucial calls that are deciding the outcome of games and bets and wagers? When will the revolution begin, Luby, and will it be televised? That this
Probably.
whole gambling thing and its infiltration into just being legitimized, I guess. It was nice when it was in the shadows, wasn't it, Luby? Did you like it better then?
Oh, gambling. The fact that
Yeah, when the seedy guy used to come into the bar with the parlay cards, and they all looked like they were typed as if they were a ransom note of some sort, where some were in caps, others were all small letters. There was a mixture of both. Yeah, they even had some things cut out of a magazine, when they were spelling out Chiefs. And you knew you were getting screwed. And the guy you were dealing with was completely known to be unscrupulous in all of his other business dealings. So why would he be straightforward about paying you off if you happen to hit one of these parlay cards? And what I loved about the parlay cards, too, was a push, whoosh, you lose. Odds were so stacked against you. And yet, I don't know, was there more of a charm to the whole thing when everything was sort of underground? You had to call a guy who knew a guy who could get you in touch with a guy.
I mean, it was more of a pain in the ass and more mysterious. I get that. I don't. My problem with it now is it's so out there. They've sterilized it, and like Ken points out, and you point out, they've also
Babes in
ruined it.
cocktail dresses are giving you picks on TV.
They've ruined it. Like they're having people. All people want to do is bet on the dumbest crap now. Like that's my problem with them going legal is they've ruined what people care about. Again, not the next generation doesn't even watch games. They watch individual players.
It's
for
fantasy
stats.
exponentially ratcheted up to involve actual large amounts of cash, even though you think you're betting small amounts of money. All of a sudden, you're doing it all the time. You're not just in some league or something like that. I have a friend who is very well off. I mean, this guy is worth quite a fortune. It's almost startling to think that he is because he's a very low key guy and doesn't live any extravagant lifestyle. That would be reflective of that. I mean, I tell him all the time. I'm with some tan, young, svelte Italian girl on the Amalfi Coast, sipping a lemonade. somewhere if I'm in your shoes.
100%.
He actually got involved. He was telling me the other night. He got involved in a fantasy. He doesn't bet at all. He doesn't go to the track. He doesn't bet any football. He's a big football fan and sports fan, but doesn't has never made a bet. He says, period. Except a year ago, somebody, one of the other guys, talked him into going into a fantasy league. So he puts up 400 to be in this league, and his wife goes ballistic, goes absolutely nuts, and says,
That's it. That's it. You're retired and now all of a sudden you're gambling.
Oh, really?
I'm like,
He's retired. He's rich, and
Filthy rich.
he
Filthy rich.
has time on his hands. Who gives a crap what he did? They're
Love
just going to
sports.
piss him
I mean,
off. Yeah.
tell me, look, Lubie, you know this for a fact, and you're not a gambler per se. But if you put $5 on a game, your interest level. I mean, the only reason I'm riveted to this Philadelphia Chargers game is because I had some action on it in my personal bookmaking venture with my man Francesco, who all of a sudden was on fire. Now, if you're the bookie, you can pretty much just relax because you know eventually, no matter how hot a guy gets, he's all the more likely to go ice cold for a spell. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll see. I mean, the race was nip and tuck all the way through 200 games, and we were about even Steven. The guy was like 500 on the season. I really need to factor in the juice on that proposition, Libby, because that's. I mean, think how much money these guys are making just on the 110 to win 100. A guy goes and bets 200 games, he hits 100 of them, so he should be even and not feeling too badly about himself. But he had to pay the juice. So let's say it was $100 a game. He's paying $10 on the 100 games that he loses. He's down $1,000, even though he's dead even for the season. So, who's making out? Are you better off being the book or the guy making the bets? What do you think? I'm going to say,
That was good. Yeah.
I'd say I'd rather be the book. All right, well, we have a lot of stuff to book here on the show. So, Chargers end up winning that game in overtime, and they go to 9-4. And then I want to get into this with you because you're our college football expert.
There you go.
Like, who's actually going to win this thing? Now, I think the odds were higher on Georgia a couple of weeks ago before they beat Alabama in this championship game. And I was thinking you were getting like almost 8-1. Is that possible? Were they ever that high, Georgia, in recent times to win the national championship?
And they were top 4.
Plus 550 now. That's where my money would be, Georgia.
Oh, yeah. Plus 550. I mean, that's for Georgia.
You're
Like,
getting 2-1 on Ohio State. Not enough money to interest me.
Yeah, no.
And you're getting 2-1 approximately, maybe a little bit more on Indiana. And then Georgia sits third at plus 550. But what is it about Georgia? They can I even say this, Lubie? And then continue.
Their offense, the defense isn't what it used to be, and the offense has issues.
Maybe not as dominant, but they find ways.
Yeah. It's
on
weird.
top. They
Yes,
just-
they find the cliche. They find ways
a
to
way
win.
to win.
Yes, that's very much this Georgia.
Like Stevie Wonder's out there trying to catch a pass. Hey, can we find a way to win? Find a way to win. Do something. But it seems like they have a winning formula, or they have that kind of dynamic where they just win games. So I don't know. I mean, Ohio State. I was starting to say my buddy Mike. He's all into this whole psychology thing, and he thinks that the win over Michigan was enough to pacify them. They knew they weren't going to lose much if they lost the Big Ten championship game to Indiana, and therefore they punctured their own incentive. From a psychological standpoint. See, I don't buy that, especially if you're talking about younger guys. Now, don't you want to win, even more determined to win when you're like 19, 20 years old, Libby?
You'd hope.
I mean,
we've
if
seen
I
it.
lose a game now at this point in my life, does it matter? I mean, what am I going to do? Jump off a bridge? No. But it means everything to you to win championships and come out on top. And the highly competitive nature of all successful professional athletes is clearly in play. So that's evolving as these guys are popping zits and just coming into what it is that they're going to be in their prime as athletes. So I can't imagine that the incentive wasn't there for the Ohio State Buckeyes to win that game. What do you think?
They just weren't.
I mean, did they really go in there and go, well, it really doesn't matter, so let's just goof around?
Look, I'd like to be the 1 seed because you get to buy. You get, I think, home field in the second round. So I'd rather that. But I'm sure they got a top 4.
The second round is played in the bowl games.
Okay, so then there you go. You wouldn't have even gotten a home game anyways.
Yeah.
So being 1 through 4, I guess it's what your path is, but it's not like their path is scary. I get it. Miami, and A&M look a little bit more impressive right now than OU and Alabama. But I like Alabama's coach more than either of those two coaches. So whatever you want to
Something's
say about
wrong there, though.
DeBoer,
DeBoer, he was great at Washington. I mean, did a great job, you'd have to say.
yeah.
Is there just a different element, different type of football? I mean, I don't
100%.
sound like Paul Feinbaum here, but SEC versus what you used to see out in the Pac-12, completely different brand of football. No,
No, it is, and he's struggling to. I hate the word struggling because they'll have made the playoffs.
and very likable. I mean, everything he had to say, he exuded class, as Trevor Devin would say.
There you go.
I really liked him. I thought he was going to do very well in Alabama. Look, and what's the other part of this? The whole politics thing. We have to get into that. We'll decide who's going to win, and we'll rip the committee some more when we come back. I mean, do we have like what, a year's worth of doing this now, Lubie? You could have no material and just bring up the college football playoffs and the bizarre inequity, the World Boxing Council type mentality of the college football playoff committee.
Yep.
Just unbelievable. Oh no, he's number one now. What? The guy hasn't fought in 2 years. You moved him up to number one. How is that possible? All right, back with more in a moment here on the show. Mike Lubie, Lubitz, Jeff DeForest, and you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in a moment. Now that 8:37.
Hey folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched, steaks hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Recently, we realized it's not just hurricane season that can hurt us. Any time of year, things can happen to your home or business. And the insurance company can be your friend, but they also can be your enemy. Horizon Public Adjusters, Justina Testa, are here for you to help this process go so much easier. Before you call the insurance company, call Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa at 954-809-8752. Would you go into court without an attorney? So why would you go up against an insurance company without Horizon Public Adjusters and Justina Testa? 7 to 10 times more money.
Joe Bees. The bees collect the pollen, bring it to Joe, he packages it, and he gets it to you. It's simple, 100% natural, and it's good for you.
There's only one place to get Joe Bees, and that's from me. Joe B.
If you want to look and feel good, call 877-300-5632.
You can't fake caring. Women can sense this immediately. You don't really care. You didn't really want to do any of this.
We now return to the Defo Show.
Women weaken legs.
Is that Travis Kelce every time he drops a ball? Aren't you hearing Mick in your head?
Women weaken legs.
You got Rocky chasing the chicken. Unbelievable. Not pulling the chicken, but chasing the chicken. That was a great scene in that movie. Great movie, by the way. I mean, could it be? I hate to debate this. A lot of people would say Raging Bull over Rocky 1. I know Rocky 1 is fantasy, and Raging Bull was a bit biographical there. Maybe some exaggerations. Maybe they even cleaned some things up. Great performance there by De Niro as the despondent, brooding, and sometimes evil and conflicted Jake LaMotta, who I got to meet later on in life. He was a big fan of going to Gulfstream Park, the real Jake LaMotta, the Raging Bull. But the Rocky movie had so many subtleties in it, didn't it? I mean, it was women weaken legs.
Yes.
You're seeing that, though, as balls are dunking off Travis Kelce's helmet, as he's tipping balls in the air that end up getting picked off by Mahomes. Is Mahomes starting to get a little upset? Lubie, what do you think? Hey, Travis, enough with the girl. Huh?
He people don't realize just how much help he had for the majority of the beginning of his career. And we always thought remember Brady, most of his career outside of the Moss year made guys like Mahomes early on actually had talent. Like he had Tyreek Hill, he had Kelsey. They drafted really well. And ever since the Tyreek Hill trade, they won back-to-back Super Bowls, but they did it more with defense than with offense. Like he would just make key plays, but they weren't chucking it around the field. And now even that's caught up with him. Like they just don't have the talent. We were talking about with Cole, like Rashee Rice is like a third receiver. He's not number one. Xavier Worthy, even as interesting as he was coming out of Texas, was really a slot, 2-3 guy. He wasn't number one. And then they have nothing after that. Kelsey is just not the same dude. He's older. He's just not the same guy.
The rushing tight ends doing amazing things too. I mean, 100%. They've become even more athletic while still looking like 6'8" slugs, and they're making phenomenal catches. I would say this, and it's surprising that you don't embrace this position when it comes to talking about Tom Brady. And I don't know if you've been overly influenced by the professor and his extreme anti-Boston bias. You share a little bit of that, Lubie.
Oh, yeah. Just the Patriots, and I hate the Celtics. I don't mind the Red Sox or the Bruins.
As a guide, and I would have to have envisioned as if you were going to have success on an athletic playing field, you personally, it would have to be by being extremely scrappy. I mean, you're crazy. Yeah.
That was my thing. Yeah.
You're digging. So I'm surprised that you don't recognize that Brady, while he didn't have the big name guys, and he may have helped make these guys who they became also with whatever level of accuracy and judgment that he had in terms of anticipating what they would do. But I don't think you can sleep on what Wes Welker and Julian Edelman did what was wrong with either of those guys as a player? Not big names, but man, they were spectacular in support of Tom Brady. No,
they were really good players. When I called them guys that fit in a system,
neither is making the Hall of Fame. But
when I called them guys that fit in a system, look, not every guy fits in a system, so it wasn't trying to be totally negative. And I think both of them proved me somewhat correct in the fact that they didn't have the same success anywhere else. So that system with Brady, they figured it out. Look, and they could have failed. There was other guys that didn't succeed. The one that came over from the Rams, the one that actually was good elsewhere and wasn't really great. Danny Amendola, who was okay.
Yeah, he was all right,
but he was never those two guys.
No.
And he was a more talented guy than those two guys. So it wasn't a disgrace to them. Like they found a way to make it work in those systems and take it to places where they were compared to some of the best receivers in football. But it was just this, they were system guys, and it worked out perfectly for the Patriots and perfectly for them. And it didn't work out for them really anywhere else. Much like for the Patriots, it didn't work out for any of them. They inserted a lot of guys into those spots, and those two and David, was it Patton, seemed to have the most success out of those. Most success for the Patriots, even though they had a bunch of guys over the years do it. So it wasn't automatic. Yes, those are really good players that were accentuated by the Patriots system and Tom Brady. And I mean, I never said they were horrible.
No. I mean, you couldn't.
System guys. That's all I said. And I to this day.
I mean, I get your point. I understand it, Lubie. I'm just busting your chops a little bit because those guys. I mean, sometimes it's not necessarily when you're talking about a guy having support, and you'll see guys with a bunch of big name guys, and it doesn't work out like you would have anticipated, and then all of a sudden you're knocking the quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's guys like that. I mean, what was Puka Nacua?
No.
Deal before he got to the Rams. I mean, look at this guy. He's unbelievable.
Yes.
I mean, it was that was an interesting matchup last night. But the Herbert versus Tua argument.
Now that's been put to bed a long time ago.
Wow. I mean, I was so impressed with this. A guy going 11 or whatever he did, 12 for 26, has never been more impressive to me than Justin Herbert was last night. What guts this guy showed.
I don't know what Herbert is. Like they try to force him in that top 6 conversation. He's done nothing. Like Tua actually has better stats. So I don't know where to put him in the hierarchy of the NFL. But he's better than Tua. Like the Chargers are happy to have him. He's gotten his second contract. They're not looking to get rid of him. Like Tua is a very different story. The Dolphins are very questionable about how
they didn't pay Tua an enormous amount of money.
He wouldn't be back. Yeah, he wouldn't be back.
He would be wearing a uniform right now, or someone else. He'd be with the Saints. Is that where he ends up?
No, he'd be. Look, I think he's good enough to be a starter in the league.
Yeah.
He's just not a franchise quarterback. Like for me, it's mostly health. But even on top of health, even I have to say, like when they need him to go down and get a score, and they're playing a decent team, he really struggles. And he has some talent around him. Like whenever there's pressure, he struggles. Like he can't elude pressure. He doesn't have a strong enough arm to make it up when he's late on a throw. So he's sort of just as dead to rights. Like Herbert's not that. Herbert can elevate a rush. Herbert can make a play. Like Herbert's the better quarterback.
A strong runner. And not afraid to take off. The guy's getting bounced around on a broken hand there. And I literally, he got plowed under so many times. Giant. I mean, I guess Jalen Carter wasn't playing last night. So even with a depleted defensive line, it's hard to believe that the Eagles offensively challenged. They broke Barkley through a little bit. He ended up with a long touchdown run. And so they had a lot of things going their way, except literally the guy doubled his season total in one game. He tripled it, actually. He exceeded it. 2 picks through 12 games. He throws 4 picks in the ball game last night. And needless to say, Lubie, they were rather untimely if you happen to be trying to nurse that 2-point outlay with the Philadelphia Eagles. But that was sort of interesting stuff. All right. So who wins it? I guess that would be something that we should address here. I don't know why I don't see Ohio State doing it. They could. It's not out of the question. Maybe that was a stinkeroo of a ball game. Ryan Day, one of those crystal ball factor type coaches that always screws up at least one game a year or so, it seems. For many years, it was Michigan. He overcomes that. The cycle. I mean, you would have to say that. Well, I mean, is it fair to say that if you're watching a ball game like that, I know it's always easy to go with the winner, but did it not seem like, especially when you're ranking the personnel, that he was badly outcoached by Cignetti?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's all they have.
How is Indiana going toe-to-toe with Ohio State?
I think it's
if
what
you took the top 10 guys, if you had the first 10 picks, would they all have been Ohio State players? If you were choosing up sides and you had Indiana's roster and Ohio State, would your first 10 picks not be Ohio State? Is that possible?
No, because Mendoza
is going to win the Heisman.
If not better than Sane. So you would go Mendoza, but then after him, I mean, they have the running back's really good, but Ohio State has like 2 to 3 running backs who are better. Yes. Yeah. First 10 to 15, because again, this Ohio State defense is like old school Ohio State defense is where it's elite with like 4 or 5 dudes that are top notch NFL players, if not more. So 10 is being nice, Indiana. It may be even more than that outside of Mendoza.
So how do you lose if you're putting any effort into that game, except for the fact that it did seem like, I mean, look, the players are out there making things happen. A lot of things went against Ohio State. They choose not to go for a field goal early in the ball game. What was that, in the first half? And they failed to make the 4th down conversion. 3 points off the board. Bingo. What's the final margin? 3 points. Now, you don't know what would have happened subsequent to that if they had made that field goal or gone for it. The game could have changed completely. There's no way to judge a sequence of events when you change one of the earlier events that took place in the ball game. So, but then later on, I mean, and the guy just shanks one, the Ohio State kicker. I don't know that that's necessarily on Ryan Day, but I mean that was one of the worst field goal attempts we've seen. If it wasn't for that guy on the Giants who were on like their 4th kicker this year, the guy that had the wedge shot, that would have been one of the worst attempts ever. That at least when you went wide right and wide left, Lubie, with your Florida State Seminoles, the kick was sort of at least had some style points on it. It wasn't just a straight shank.
No, a lot of time they were close. That was the annoying thing is like Bobby would like move his body thinking it's going in and it would just miss. It was freaking annoying.
Yeah. I mean, even the Bills kicker, I mean, Norwood, he didn't miss it by that much. I mean, for the amount of infamy that he had to deal with. I mean, talk about having a weight on his shoulders. You ever see one of those 30 for 30s on the Buffalo Bills? And they get to Scott Norwood, and a guy, I mean, he would be the thumbnail picture next to the word depression, it seems like, whenever he brought up this sporting memory. Anyway, I guess he's learned to deal with you think he was doing autograph shows or something, Scott Norwood? Or was he The Buffalo fans wouldn't revile this guy, would they?
They wouldn't love him. They wouldn't love him.
You think they just shovel snow in front of his house whenever the first flakes fall, and they can't wait to bury this guy forever? I don't know. Cost him a Super Bowl. What are you going to do? All right, so the winner is going to be whom, Lubie? You
I don't
have
know how to say it.
Miami 22-1. Do they have any chance, Miami, with Mario Cristobal, head
Any
coach?
chance to win the championship? No. Do they have a
Win.
chance to get out of
Win
this
the
round? Sure. I mean, Marcel Reed is helter-skelter the last month. Like the first half for South Carolina, he was horrendous. The second half, he looked like the Heisman winner. Like, to me, it rests on what Marcel Reed you get. Like, I think Marcel Reed, if he plays smart and doesn't just chuck the ball, will annihilate Miami. Their secondary is not good, and their line. Yeah, I think their secondary is not good. Their linebacking core is average, and the defensive line gets a lot of credit. But when they play decent teams, the defensive line does nothing. So I think they can go right after that defense, and their defense is really good. And we've seen if Beck gets pressured at all, he folds. So if Marcel Reed's playing smart, I think A&M wins easily in this game. The problem is, and it's why Canes fans
Easily.
are,
I mean, what is the line?
well,
on it?
if he plays well, if he plays like the guy that we saw the first 2/3 of the season, the problem is we haven't seen the last month. He struggled a lot. So
Okay.
if he struggles, if like he's trying to do too much because he's gotten all this attention, then Miami could get by that game. I just don't see them. I don't see them being the kind of team that can win like 3 or 4 games in a row versus really good teams. They've never. They'll tell you they did that early on. We look back. USF's average. UF's horrendous, and Notre Dame was good to really good. Like they beat 1 really good team. They didn't beat 4. Like
No, and
I
then
don't
they
see-
lost to a Texas team that you would have to say was wildly disappointing.
well, I'm
this year.
talking about Miami. Like I don't know what.
I was
A&M
talking about, yeah,
has.
A&M.
Miami. I don't know if Miami is good enough to win 3 or 4 games in a row versus really good teams. I just don't see.
Oh,
that.
yeah,
One,
okay.
yes.
All right.
So that's what you're asking if they can win a title. You know, they'd have to win like 3 games. I think just
They'd have to beat Texas A&M, Ohio State.
And that'll get them to the
think,
fours.
likely they would have to beat Georgia after that.
They'd have to be 4 really good teams, 4 really good teams to win the title.
Right. Not happening. Cristobal.
I just don't see it. With Cristobal, you're telling me Cristobal is not going to get in the way at all of 4 games versus well-coached teams with good quarterbacks.
Oh, he'll be astonished.
That's my problem. Like, I'm not trying to be negative. I'll ask a Kane fan who are in their own world. You really think, again, remember, you thought those were good games. None of those teams were in the playoff discussion by the end of the year except for Notre Dame. None of them. UF, FSU, USF, they weren't even in the discussion by the end of the year. Okay, so those weren't playoff teams. You're not playing playoff teams. You think Cristobal is going to be without fail for 4 games? Like
That's asking a lot.
I think that's a lot.
4 games against good teams, Mario Cristobal factor. That's a shambles. I mean, that's the kind of thing that what would have Radakovich going straight into therapy of some sort, saying, "Why me? Why me?"
Exactly.
Are you kidding me? It's Nancy Kerrigan time. If you have to have Cristobal facing, I mean, what if he does it though? That would be remarkable. How stupid would we look? And I wouldn't mind that happening. It's been too long. It's been a long and winding road. I mean, it really has been. With both the local teams here on the gridiron, used to be great. I mean, no matter what, with Dan Marino all the way through 1999, which is a long time ago, Louis, you always had some reason to think that you wanted to tune in the ball game, even if Marino was in decline, even if Jimmy was having him hand off play after play to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar while Marino was pitching fits and Damon Heward was warming up in the background, and Jimmy's telling Danny Boy, I can put him in there right now if you want. You gonna run the ball or what? And that was it. And we'll have to look this up. And was that the 99 season where? Did Kareem Abdul-Jabbar average more than 1 yard per carry that year? And you're watching this, and you're thinking, this is all just because it involves bitterness between the coach and the guy who essentially is the franchise, as much as I have great respect for the Jimmer. Danny Boy was the franchise, no? But at least it was exciting going. And then we've had this 26 years of Schlepperville. And that makes it tough. And with the Hurricanes, what was the last time you had? I guess Mark Richt got off to a 10-0 start or something that one year.
Yes.
And
they pounded Notre Dame.
Yeah. And then they fell apart.
Yes, they lost. something that it looked like they were doing this year, and then they did finish the last 3 or 4 games in the second halves of those games in dominant fashion, which was a departure from that team.
All right, so you wouldn't go ahead and venture at 22-1 that the Hurricanes could win it all, and you're basing a lot of this on the crystal ball factor, which I appreciate. That is good handicapping on your part, because it may be too much of a factor for any gambler to overcome. So the 22-1, while I don't know, is it even attractive? Would you take 22-1 with Ole Miss, same price? Would you take 22-1 with Alabama? Same price as the University of Miami. Of those 3 teams, you would have to think that Miami was the only one with the potential maybe to win it all. No, Ole Miss, are they going to do it in total disarray? The whole lane.
No, even with again, I don't. Their quarterback's weird to me. I don't trust their quarterback at all to get them. It's the idea of getting through 4 games. Like that's it. Ohio State. It doesn't have to be the quarterback. Like they can do it without the quarterback. It's hard to me to see all these other teams doing it without the quarterback. Like Gunnar Stockton needs to play really well, and he's a hit or miss for Georgia. That's my issue for Georgia. And also that their run, because their run game isn't what it was. Their defense isn't what it was. Ohio State's defense is the best it's been in years. Their run game is as good as it's been. The problem is he tries to force the run. Like if he didn't want to run it so much, then they would probably have annihilated Indiana.
This guy Smith should have 20 targets a game. Are you kidding me? I don't care if he's quadruple covered. What are you talking about, Ryan Day? Goofy play calling down by the goal line on both occasions that he got the ball inside there. One where he failed on a 4th down play, and then I mean this is from like the 5 and in, and then of course the shanked field goal to tie the ball game. That was just pure and utter ugliness. You should have seen the Ohio State fans. They almost jumped off the balcony there. We were watching at my friend's place. He lives on the beach. And he's only 2 stories up. I told him it wasn't worth it. I mean, even though I would think it would be enough of a convincing blow to, finish off anybody that was 70 plus. I don't know, Lubie. When was the last time you thought about jumping? Now that's where these guys were at, Ohio State fans, after that missed field goal. I mean, it's oy gewalt. How could any more things possibly go wrong? I mean, the chalk players, does this have the can milk of magnesia go sour?
Yeah.
Among the chalk players, though, it seems like you're taking a gamble if you're taking Indiana, doesn't it? Even though they're like 2-1 also, and they just beat Ohio State.
Yeah,
But
they're the kind of team.
that's still a Cinderella story, my friend. Cinderella.
They're the kind of team I could see losing their first game.
Indiana?
Yeah. Like I just in this stage and with an actual bye, so like they haven't played. I think they're big on playing every week and rhythm and all that crap, being that kind of a team. They're gonna be up against a team that just got a win. Like I don't know. They're the kind of team I could see. Like I don't really see them winning a title. Ohio State.
You can make a nice corner on the money line there, Louie. If you went ahead and bet against Indiana in their opening game against whomever they're playing. I'm trying to picture the bracket now. I don't have it in front of me. But if they were in that upper left corner, they were getting the winner of like Oregon and James Madison. Is that possible? That would be the matchup. I don't know. So where do you stand on this? Who's going to win it all, Mr. Michael Lubie Lubitz, Mr. College Football? What are you thinking? Do we have a clear-cut picture, or is it wide open? Is it wide open enough for you to believe that were Notre Dame in the field, that they would have a chance to win it all? For some reason, I don't know why I didn't see that happening either. So interesting. And I'm glad there was controversy. There should have been more controversy about Jeff Kent beating out Don Mattingly to get into the Hall of Fame. From what is wrong with these people on the Veterans Committee? How do you not have? Is it Harold Reynolds? Who's the guy? Who's the somewhat stiff of a second baseman? That Baines, right? Is it Baines? Harold Baines.
Yes, Harold Baines, who got in on just playing a long time and being pretty consistent.
Harold Baines, for God's sake. No Donnie baseball. I understand the stuff with the juicers and Pete Rose, and I'm siding. Rarely would I be on the conservative side of things, but I believe in the ban of the juicers. I'm glad to see Clemens and Bonds getting like 5 votes out of the necessary 12.
I just don't know. So then my issue with that is the picking and choosing. I don't care if you don't put any of them in.
Yeah.
It's just when they let in Piazza, they let in Bagwell. It's like, okay, so
You
they're
think
nice.
Juice was
Yeah, right. It's like you're just picking and choosing who you liked and who
Yeah.
you didn't like. Like that's annoying to me. Like it should personality matters. I get it, but I don't think it should. I think it should be about who you are as a player. If you don't want to give them a job, that's fine. You don't want to have them be a commentator, that's fine. But like it should be on their
No,
career.
they're all commentators. What are you talking about? Do you
And
think if Barry
yeah,
Bonds
all the
said
Reuters
he
are
was
all that.
available, that Fox wouldn't hire him tomorrow? They
No,
got A-Rod on there. Although A-Rod, do you believe that A-Rod's literally had an epiphany? I'm now he's
okay.
yet to make his first interesting comment on any of these shows. Well, would you agree that that's true? He looks good. He speaks well enough. Would you say just kind of a cliche machine? A-Rod as
Yes.
a commentator?
A-Rod, yes, that whole group.
Jeter
Big
seems
Papi?
disinterested. Big
Jeter?
Papi, I love him, but I really don't know what he's saying. Do you? I mean, come on.
I understand what he's saying. He doesn't say anything though. He like smiles a lot and just like does a lot of movement and barely says anything. And
Hey,
Jeter
that's my
says,
man. I mean, I love that man.
yeah.
Hey,
No,
that's
that
my man.
panel's
He's
as
Big
bad.
Papi. Look, he's always going to be an attraction because he
He's
was
fun.
as a
He
player.
doesn't say anything.
That's funny. Wasn't he the guy that lived in a hotel the entire time he was a Red Sox player?
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I think he lived in some hotel, like $3,000 a night or whatever it was. You think they gave him a deal because he was Big Papi? I would hope so. Leave it to me to be snoring right at the end of the day. If it was me, I'm not paying your nightly rate. Get the hell out of here. I'm Big Papi, for Christ's sake. All right, we're going to get out of here. No commitment from Lubie on who's going to win the thing.
I think it's Ohio State. I think Ohio State is going to use that Indiana game like they did the Michigan game. Mike, I think is sort of right in the sense that they let their guard down. They played weird football. They did not play their brand of football on offense, or at least what got them to this point the last 2 years.
So they wake up after.
And then I think they wake up. I think they go through the playoffs. They know they can't screw around in the playoffs, and I think they just go to work. Like I think they're clearly the best team in the country by a lot, and that game I think wakes them up more than anything. They still are a top 4 seed. Like they still get a bye. Like okay. So there was not much for them to play for that. Yeah, you want to be the number 1 seed, but do you like number 1 seeds usually in these tournaments don't win?
Like, would you not though want the distinction of going undefeated? Also, that would have been. I mean, look, the only team that can do it now is Indiana, which is amazing because Indiana had lost 30 straight games.
Yeah, they were bad. They were
Ohio State. They hadn't won the Big Ten title. I believe it was like 1962 was the last time they won the Big Ten title, and that probably was in basketball. So I mean, it's insane to think that this guy Signetti has, again, referencing the great Chip Namias, who had a post about this. He was saying, in all his years of watching sports and covering sports, been involved on the business side forever, that he has never seen a remarkable turnaround and coaching job like this Signetti guy's done. Indiana was garbage, man.
No, it's up there because that's the thing is we've seen guys make teams interesting for a year. We've seen them go on a run and be fun, but how we seen them be undefeated, go to the playoffs back-to-back year,
and beat Ohio
State. Like
make Brian Day look like a chump.
It's really tough. It's tough to find the random ass program that did that. Like just getting to a playoff would be usually like a big deal for a program like that.
Yeah,
actually contend.
What did Ryan Day have to say after that game? Did he pull a McDaniel?
Oh, I don't know.
Or he just went in? Did he? He doesn't go a hamina. He's not one of those hamina guys. Which McDaniel is probably the best. Even when he wins, he's hamina. So and now we have the Dolphins primed to run the table, Lubie.
Yeah, I mean,
well, we should have the show should just be called Dead Wrong. That'd be perfect. Because everybody was dead wrong about this, and I can't believe that Cole was beating me up about the prospect of. Look, I deserved every bit of credit for deeming the Dolphins the best 1-5 team in football when they were one. I think there might have been one other, but
they clearly were. They
clearly
4 straight wins, or 4 out of 5 out of 6 or something. Like that.
Any acute observer of football could see that. All right, we will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in.
Yes,
For Mike Lubie Lubitz, young Luca calmed down quite a bit from when he was playing the role of Kurt Bavacqua, the AD at Notre Dame, and crying. Was this better than seeing Jimmy pirate on Jerry Faust? Just watching this fetching that's going on, and we're not going to go to a ball game because the kids are so dumb. You don't give a flying F about the kids.
They're trying to throw a hissy fit.
They'll be playing a ball game in Saudi Arabia. The Sheik's going to call
Exactly.
them $50 million to come over there, and they're going to say, "Oh, you know what? We really wanted to go over there and see what it was like to play football in the desert." Thanks, Notre Dame, for making a travesty of it all. Do you think it is the end of the bowl system? One last thing here, Libby.
I
Is
think in the coming years, yeah. I mean, it's
over?
I used to love the Bulls, and this was until recently. Because like, okay, there's no more football, but it's like, no, you have another month of football every day. There's games. That's great.
Yeah.
When you watch them and you don't know who's in them, the level of play usually is average to bad. Like, I haven't
Duke's
yet.
Mayo Bowl is now my favorite. Duke's Mayo.
Well, there you go. Well, the dumping of the mayonnaise is fun.
That's it. Yeah, and you get the mayonnaise bath at the end of the thing. That's what could be better, more Animal House-esque than that. All right, for Mike Lubie Lubitz, young Luca Panici Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 9:06.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Look what they done to my soul.